Welcome back to a new episode of Paint with Michelle. For July, we will be painting a piece inspired by the British artist Louis Wain, titled The Electric Cat. While we gather our supplies for this painting, let's learn a little bit about this month's artist. Louis William Wain was born August 5, 1860 in London, England, and was the oldest of 6 children and the only male born to his parents. Because of this, Louis was left to support his mother and 5 sisters at the age of 20 when his father passed away. Louis had studied at the West London School of Art and was eventually a teacher there for a short period of time. After moving to his own apartment, Louis became a freelance artist where he specialized in drawing animals and country scenes. At age 23, Louis married his sister's governess, Emily Richardson. She soon began to suffer from breast cancer and died 3 years into their marriage. Prior to her death, Emily was comforted by their pet cat, Peter, a stray black and white kitten. Louis drew wide-ranging sketches of Peter, which Emily encouraged him to have published. She died before this happened, but Peter's inspiration guided Louis's work for the rest of his life. In 1886, Louis's first drawing of anthropomorphized cats, titled A Kitten's Christmas Party, was published in the Christmas issue of the Illustrated London News. It depicted 150 cats involved in activities such as writing invitations, holding a ball, playing games, and making speeches. This holiday edition of the Illustrated London News was so popular it was difficult to find available copies. Over the next 30 years, Louis was a productive artist. He produced as many as several hundred drawings a year, and he illustrated about 100 children's books. In 1898 and 1911, he was chairman and president of the National Cat Club. While Louis Wain was loved and adored for his artwork, he suffered in his personal life. While still managing the finances of his mother and sisters, he was often taken advantage of by media and invested in stakes and patents poorly. His behavior became very erratic near the end of his life, so much so that his sisters had him committed to a pauper's ward at the Springfield Mental Hospital in South London. Louis continued to paint while staying in many hospitals he lived in. However, his style did change to more psychedelic in nature. Louis Wain died in 1939, but his art re-emerged decades later during the 1960s psychedelic art movement. He became popular again in 2021 when Benedict Cumberbatch portrayed the artist in the biographical film The Electrical Life of Louis Wain, which follows the story of Louis meeting his wife and his rise and fall from fame. In preparation for this video, we have created a coloring page copy of Louis Wain's Kaleidoscope Cats 3 that you can print and use as a template for this painting. The link is provided below. To begin this painting, you will need a canvas. Any size will do. For this video, I'm using a canvas that is 16 inches by 20 inches in size. If you are using the coloring page as a template, you will need a few sharpened pencils, an eraser, and some painter's or masking tape. Since my canvas is large, I'm going to need a larger template. That's a lot better. Go ahead and flip the template over and cover the entire back with graphite by rubbing the sharpened pencils all over the page. Once you are finished, tape the template onto the canvas to secure it from moving. Now carefully trace the entire drawing of the cat, including the whiskers and fur details. Once everything is traced, peel off the template and you should see the image transferred onto the canvas. Take some time to redraw or darken areas that were missed. Now, get your paint supplies ready. You'll need lots of colors for your background to make the electric waves and a color family for your cat. You will also want to make sure you have several sizes of brushes and water and paper towels to clean off your brushes in between each color. To begin, pick one of your background colors and paint an offset outline around the cat drawing. Next, follow that with another color offset. In this painting, I used 6 colors for the background: blue, green, purple, orange, pink, and yellow. Once you've filled in the background, give your canvas a second coat to avoid streaky paint lines. Now it's time to paint in your cat. You can paint it any color that you want. I'm going for a Maine Coon style of cat, with a gray face and shades of brown for different areas of the body. Some of my pencil lines in the face and paws started to disappear, so I traced them with a black paint marker so they would show up underneath my paint. Be sure to take your time with this and use different shades to add depth and details to your fur. When I was finished with my regular acrylic paint, I traced the facial details with the black paint pen again. I then used the gray and brown paint pens to trace the outside of the cat to cover any areas where white canvas was exposed. Take your time to make sure any corrections to the piece are complete, and then add your artist's signature. And now it's time to enjoy your electric cat. A huge thank you to our Creation Station makers that submitted photos of their electric cat coloring pages that they customized. Remember, you can print out a copy of the coloring page by following the link below. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Paint with Michelle, and we will see you next time for another cat creation.